17% of people surveyed in an international study said they believe governments are involved in some sort of secret atmospheric program. Is that what's going on here? Or maybe these are alien ships masquerading as clouds.
A mile-long cigar-shaped UFO was caught on camera, leaving everyone in shock. This wasn't just any sighting, it was a chilling encounter that defied all logic.
It really is pretty cool looking. Is it some kind of unidentified object? You know, what is this ring in the sky?
As this massive object descended rapidly from the sky, witnesses were left questioning their sanity. Could there be more to this bizarre event than we dare to imagine? Before we dive deeper, brace yourself. What you're about to discover is not just strange, but downright terrifying. Weird object spotted over UK sky. Imagine you're on a flight over the UK, looking out your window when you spot something weird in the sky. There's this object zooming around at incredible speeds, almost like it's hopping from spot to spot instead of flying. From some angles, it seems kind of transparent, but then it turns into this solid, long shape as it zooms off. What's going on with that? We don't have any official explanation, but it's hard to ignore the video evidence that someone actually caught this happening. And here's the twist, this might not be the only time such an object has been seen. What else is out there, silently watching us?
Said we can't have anybody working with us who has family problems like that. So we need to suspend your work up there until you get things sorted out.
Stick around to know the full story. Moving on to Spain, we've got one of the clearest videos of a similar thing. After tons of reports of these weird sightings, someone finally managed to catch it on film. This footage is a game changer because it's tough to claim it's fake when this kind of thing has been spotted worldwide. In the video, you see this long-shaped UFO just hanging there for a bit before it suddenly drops out of sight. The clip ends just when you want to see more, but what's captured makes you really think. Then in 2020, over in Hungary, some drones with really good cameras managed to get footage of another weird object. Its size, color, and shape were nothing like a drone or a regular plane. Oddly, it didn't leave any sort of trail and moved through the sky without making a sound, zipping around quickly before it just vanished. It felt like something you'd see in a science fiction movie. There's also this story about a pilot who, while flying, caught a UFO zipping past his plane. The footage he got could be one of the most incredible UFO sightings ever, showing how quick he was to catch it on camera. This shiny silver disc was moving around his plane smoothly, then suddenly dipped under with movements that just don't make sense, all the while shining brightly from the sunlight hitting it. In another instance, a UFO was seen over Kansas, coming close to a commercial flight.
Blacked out. I don't know if it turned off the lights or if it zipped off again. It was strange. So all these things are really strange.
The two were in the air at the same time, but the unidentified object was moving way faster. It was this white box-like thing that not everyone on the plane even noticed. It didn't resemble any drone or typical surveillance gear. Could this be some type of alien monitoring equipment? It leaves you wondering. But this isn't where the story stops. These sightings keep adding to an already intriguing topic. Could all these be proof of something from another planet? It's definitely something to ponder, especially with all these strange happenings being recorded. Now picture yourself on that plane, staring out the window, and suddenly you see something unusual. It's not a bird, and definitely not another plane. What you see is an unidentified flying object moving effortlessly along with your plane, like it's the most normal thing in the world. At first, it seems like just a bit of plastic floating by. But then it starts shifting shapes, changing from one form to another right before your eyes. Other passengers are just as shocked as you are. They watch as the object, which looked simple and flat just a moment ago, suddenly changes, almost as if it's interacting with the airflow from another plane nearby. This isn't just some random trash. It's moving way up there, at 6.2 miles where normal objects just don't go. Each story like this makes us want to look closer and find out more. These events aren't rare anymore. More and more pilots and passengers are coming forward with reports of seeing strange things in the sky, some even capturing footage of UFOs moving incredibly fast and doing maneuvers that seem impossible. In one case, a camera attached to a plane caught a UFO flying right next to it, almost as if it was checking the plane out. The way it moved was unbelievable, not just floating but keeping up with the plane's speed perfectly. Then things took an even weirder turn. The footage suddenly stopped, interrupted by some kind of interference. It was as if the UFO knew it was being watched and decided to pull a vanishing act, like a squid shooting ink to escape. This strange move just made people more curious and speculative about what they were seeing. Just when it seems like nothing could top the last event, another strange thing happens that makes us rethink everything. Helicopter crew spots strange object at night. And then there's this recent event where a helicopter crew during a night mission caught a UFO on their camera. The object was glowing and moving faster than any known aircraft could, leaving even the most advanced helicopters behind. This sighting led some to wonder if it might be part of a top-secret government project, so hidden that the general public has no clue about it. But here's a thought. What if we're not alone in the universe? Imagine you're driving down a highway when suddenly a cylindrical object shoots across the sky, keeping up with your car. For some, this isn't just a thought experiment, it's something they've actually experienced, with such sightings becoming more common, challenging our notions of what's possible up there. In 2012, while many of us were locked down at home in Florida, not much seemed to be happening. A blimp flew by, catching minimal attention online. Just a few jokes and remarks. But at the same time, there was a spike in UFO sightings, almost as if these strange objects took the opportunity to explore while we were all stuck inside. Going back a decade earlier, in a small town in Ukraine, something strange was caught on video. A cylindrical object was seen flying in the sky, and although many people saw it, only one got a clear shot on video. Some thought it might be just a plane pulling a banner, but it was solid and didn't move with the wind, making it a real head-scratcher. Around the same time, near a factory in Russia, people spotted what looked like a sophisticated military aircraft, something you wouldn't expect to see flying around unnoticed. The object had a segmented appearance, making the factory workers uneasy. They hadn't seen anything like it before, and it didn't fit with what we know about aircraft. But what unfolded next was even more bizarre. Fast forward to February 2024, in a quaint Italian town named Lucca, another similar cylindrical object was observed silently hovering in the sky, this time captured on camera by a local resident. This event sparked a variety of theories. Could it be a practical joke, a covert government operation, or perhaps something from beyond our planet? Some speculated it could be tied to espionage, while others questioned if such advanced technology could indeed be earthly. These recurring patterns are making the unexplained even more intriguing. Such incidents have been occurring in different corners of the globe. For example, in New Zealand, there was a report of an object that resembled a high-tech aircraft or a large drone. This led to a mix of wild theories, with some suggesting it was a confidential government project and others considering it an elaborate hoax. Then in Russia, there was another sighting of a UFO that resembled an obelisk. It hovered so steadily in the air that people were torn between believing it was real or just a well-executed trick. As these sightings continued, they painted a picture of a world brimming with strange and unexplained events. Each incident prompted people to think deeply about what these strange objects might be and what their presence could signify. They always remain just out of reach, leaving us to ponder the hidden wonders of the skies above. Strange objects have been appearing in the skies, leaving onlookers both astonished and confused. One object resembled a flat disc hovering over cities. It had no visible engines or propellers, making everyone question how it managed to stay aloft. As it hovered close to the ground, it appeared unstable, as if it might crash at any moment. And this occurred in broad daylight, which only added to the overall confusion. In Brazil, an even stranger occurrence was recorded, a figure resembling a person wearing a jetpack. But before anyone could determine what it really was, the figure burst into flames and disappeared over the mountains at an astonishing speed. Onlookers were left in shock, wondering what kind of technology could enable such a rapid ascent. With each new find, the skies show us more odd surprises, making us wonder what else is out there. Huge rings seen in China's sky. In China, a shopper stepped outside to find groceries and looked up to see a massive ring-shaped formation in the sky. It lingered long enough for everyone in the vicinity to notice and speculate about its nature. Some thought it might be a new type of airship, or perhaps just an unusual weather phenomenon, but no clear answers were provided. People debated whether it was an optical illusion or something truly strange. But that wasn't the only peculiar sighting. Elsewhere, a man observed a cloud formation shaped like a triangle, unlike anything he had ever seen before. He quickly began filming it from his window. The object, sharp and triangular like a shark fin, remained immobile within the cloud and did not resemble any known cloud types or man-made structures. Sightings like this have been reported worldwide, but the clarity of this particular one led some to speculate about the possibility of a hidden alien base. Back in 2009, an individual in Italy reported seeing a UFO that looked like two aluminum plates stacked atop each other, floating in the sky. Initially, his claims were met with skepticism, but 10 years later, someone else managed to capture a similar object on video, lending credibility to the previous report. The object moved slowly and erratically, occasionally disappearing behind trees, but then reappearing in the gray sky before it eventually vanished completely, leaving witnesses skeptical yet curious about what they had seen. In 2013, a passenger flying over Atlanta noticed three strange lights moving together in a synchronized pattern. They did not resemble any natural phenomenon or man-made object.
If this was a flare, it would have stayed burning for a while. If it were an aircraft of some sort exploding, you would see the pieces falling.
Positioned at a height not typical for drones or atmospheric events like ball lightning, and after dismissing the possibility of reflections from inside the plane, the witness was left with more questions than answers, concluding that these were unexplained lights moving purposefully through the sky. Throughout the year, more sightings were reported, each distinct in shape and movement. These strange objects continue to challenge our understanding and fuel speculation about the potential realities beyond our planet. Each new observation adds another layer to the problem of these unexplained aerial phenomena, deepening our curiosity about what might truly be out there. In the United States, unexplained aerial sightings have captured the attention of many. As night falls, these unidentified objects light up, seeming to search for a place to land. One evening, a sailor noticed a cluster of bright lights above the North Carolina coast. This sight was anything but ordinary. It was clearly something unusual, not just regular flares. The lights gathered together, hanging in the air like a beautiful string of lights draped across the night sky above the ocean. The sailor, far from shore, watched as these lights remained in one place for an extended period, with no one around to explain this strange event. This was not the only baffling sighting. A few months earlier, passengers on a plane heading to the U.S. witnessed a sudden bright flash in the night sky. It was so startling that it left everyone on board uneasy. Some passengers began to speculate about possible extraterrestrial involvement.
That thing is not moving.
Initially thought to be a rocket launch, this idea was quickly dismissed. Flights and rocket launches are carefully scheduled to avoid such overlaps, so the idea of a rocket appearing in commercial airspace seemed implausible. This led some to speculate that it might have been an alien spacecraft on an urgent mission. When pilots encounter brightly colored, fast-moving objects, it's difficult for them not to be distracted from their usual duties. In one case, a pilot saw a brightly colored UFO zoom past their plane at incredible speed. Everyone was left wondering why the UFO was in such a hurry. Could it have been rushing back to its home planet to deal with some kind of emergency? In New Jersey, people caught an unusual flying object on camera, floating right above the bustling city. The video captured everyday city life, people walking, cars driving, while above them, this object shone with bright lights. It seemed like it was watching over the area. The intense lights made people uneasy, leading them to wonder if they were on the verge of an alien visit. The tension in the air thickened when the lights suddenly shut off, and the footage stopped abruptly, leaving everyone scratching their heads, wanting more answers. As we keep going, even more unexpected things appear, making us think and question even more. Massive flying objects seen in Turkey. Back in 2008, over in Turkey, the locals saw a massive flying object in the sky. A few quick thinkers zoomed in with their cameras, providing a clearer image that hinted the object might be from another planet. Most times, photos of such sightings are fuzzy, but this one was different. The viewers could make out the structure of the object and even catch a glimpse of what looked like the inside, sparking wild guesses about the kind of beings inside and the design of their craft. Not long ago in Florida, a whole group of these flying objects was spotted moving across the sky. This sight stirred up quite a bit of concern, though there were those who doubted the authenticity of the footage. The argument over whether these sightings are real still goes on, keeping people talking about what these strange objects in the sky might signify. It's only natural to question things that don't seem to fit our understanding of the world. You'd think if something this significant occurred, it would be major news worldwide, especially since it's not every day you see a bunch of alien ships sailing through a sunset. Over in Russia, a country known for its no-nonsense public, a peculiar object in the sky grabbed the attention of many. Initially, people spotted an odd-looking structure hanging there. Then it started emitting smoke and began to morph in shape, stretching out as if reaching for something, which led some to speculate it was signaling other ships. Was it shot down? While we can only speculate, it's fun to imagine what might have been happening. Each new sighting seems to add another layer to our understanding of these events. Meanwhile, in 2022 in Islamabad, Pakistan, observers noticed a dark, triangular-shaped object in the sky.
That thing is big and spherical. Yes, it is. It's got a black dot in the center of it.
Documented by numerous witnesses, this object hovered for a considerable amount of time, clearly visible and unmistakably triangular, defying the usual characteristics of a drone, which couldn't maintain such a presence. As more people started to notice, the shape became even clearer, compounding the intrigue until, just as the crowd began to swell, the object vanished without a trace. In another odd event in Pakistan, pilots of a small plane managed to film a strange white orb zipping through the sky. At first look, one might have mistaken it for the moon, but this glowing object was moving too swiftly. It was difficult to track, but clearly this was no ordinary night sky object. It was a brilliant, moving phenomenon that left all who saw it in awe. Back in the USA during Fleet Week, an annual air show hosted by the US Air Force, something extraordinary happened. While jets were performing their maneuvers, a bright disk darted between them. It moved so fast that it could have easily been missed had it not been for the cameras capturing the moment. Reviewing the footage, it's incredible to see how this unidentified object managed to navigate through the fast-moving jets, raising questions about what else might be out there, undetected. In outer space, there are ships moving faster than our fastest jets, sometimes referred to as extraterrestrial hawks. It's crucial for us to ensure these unidentified crafts don't pose a threat to human safety. Meanwhile, back on Earth, one of Mexico's most active volcanoes, Popocatépetl, was under constant surveillance. In 2020, while most were homebound, cameras recorded an unusual sight: a white, cylinder-shaped object speeding towards the volcano and diving directly into its fiery mouth.
Well, it's a good thing everyone has a camera on their phone, because our next video shows something so strange, some believe it may be part of a government conspiracy to control the weather.
This daring act caught the attention not just of those in Mexico, but people worldwide, sparking discussions about its origin and purpose. Some speculated it might have been a covert American experiment aimed at triggering an eruption. However, the true nature and intentions of this object remain undisclosed, fueling ongoing debates and curiosity. And there's more to think about. Ever notice something strange while flying? On one occasion, a passenger recorded a video of another airplane that seemed to be motionless in the sky. This was due to the parallax effect, an optical illusion where objects moving at different speeds appear to be stationary. Similar illusions can happen on the ground, like when you're sitting in a still train and it feels like it's moving. These natural phenomena show how our senses can be easily tricked, unlike UFOs, which continue to behave in ways that defy our understanding. Could this cigar-shaped UFO be just another optical illusion, or is it undeniable proof of extraterrestrial presence? What do you believe is really going on? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.